What's your name?
Olivier Gabis.
Olivier. Uh, can you tell us a little bit about your history in the aluminum industry?
Sure. I've been about 34 years now in the aluminum industry. Started, I came with Pechiney in 1981 and worked in Lancaster, Pennsylvania plant, now Alcoa plant. Then worked several positions in the industry at VAW of America, Ormet Corporation,
Now,
Dakar Aluminum, and recently with Wagstaff.
okay, now all of those except for Wagstaff are aluminum producers.
Yes,
So
I
what kinds of work have you done in those positions?
was mostly in the technical field, process engineer, technical director, manager, so involved in quality, uh, uh, registration of several plants, 8 plants to ISO 9000, and then recently was with Wagstaff as area manager, which is kind of a combination of sales and technical support for all customers.
An area manager for a particular part of the world?
Yes, I have Eastern US and Canada. Busy territory lately.
Um, so you've seen a lot of technology in the aluminum industry change and evolve over time.
Yeah.
And would that be particularly in the cast house, or have you worked on other parts of processing?
When I worked in several jobs in cast houses, but when I was at VAW, I was involved with extrusion, dawn tubing, fabrication, painting, pretty much everything from billet all the way to the finished product. So in that field, like most of the field, big challenges have been automation, trying to improve consistency in making products.
Yeah, so really automation has
Automation has been the big
one of the
difference.
dominant changes that have helped improve the quality of the material.
Plus, there's been a lot of improvement in die technology for extrusion, die design, handling of material, removing people and putting automatic handling, improving surface finish of products, things like that. And if you look on the rolling side, when I was at Ormet, I was involved in rolling also.
In what?
Rolling
Rolling.
of ingots, so we were making everything up to the foil.
Okay, because I was thinking that Ormet at that time was a primary producer.
Ormet was fully integrated when I was working for them. We purchased consolidated aluminum, which had the rolling mill, the foil plant, lamination plant. So Ormet was doing at the alumina plant in Louisiana, where we were converting bauxite into alumina. Then I was going to Hannibal, making primary metal, and we had billet cast house. And next door we had a ingot cast house, and we had a full rolling mill. And then we had also a rolling mill in Jackson, Tennessee. And we were making foil, and we were also doing lamination product. Wrapping, Christmas wrapping, and all that was part of the product we were making.
It does sound like you've been involved in almost every aspect of the industry.
Quite a few, yeah.
And but Wagstaff specifically, what does Wagstaff do?
Well, Wagstaff is a leader in solidification of aluminum, especially and vertically cast aluminum. So anytime you want to cast a billet or a rolling ingot, I would say 90% of the time you will see a Wagstaff piece of equipment involved. So initially we started with tooling to do that, and we have evolved now pretty much. We take care of anything coming from the furnace all the way till you get a solid piece of metal. And of course, a lot of automation.
Launder systems and what other?
We can supply launder systems, yeah, and control. A lot of automation. That's
coming from the furnace.
The degassing unit, we are not making them. The
No.
filter, we're not making, but we're working with partners. If we want to supply the whole package, we can.
So will Wagstaff do that? Supply a whole package?
From the furnace down to the solid metal, yes. And we're also working on complete cast house too.
What are some of the casting products that you sell? What casters?
It's all called a vertical direct chill casting. So VDC and pretty much billet with our air slip technology, and rolling ingot with our LHC or Epsilon technology
Epsilon, okay.
that are giving you some very nice surface quality and minimizing scrap downstream in the process.
Are you,
Also, one thing we have spent a lot of time in the past 5 years is automation, trying to remove people from the casting pit due to potential explosion risk when you cast aluminum. So in the ingot, for the past 3-4 years, we have system in place all around the world now, where you can really be in a control room and do a cast. You don't need anybody around the casting pit. In a billet, we just introduced last year the system, and it's going to be in production in a few months, and we will be able to achieve the same. And
that's,
we are up to a point now that you can even do what we call a remote casting. You don't even need to be in a cast house to do the cast. I mean, we have done demonstration in our last user conference where we were 15 miles away, and we started a cast
oh, the
remotely.
Wagstaff
Complete-
user conference.
Yeah, completely remotely.
And do you think that there are many companies that
All the
would
big,
take advantage of that?
all the big companies have a big push toward what they call hands-free casting, so that for safety reasons.
Have you personally been involved in developing any products?
Yeah, I mean, I have been not at Wagstaff, but in my career, I've developed some alloys, extrusion alloys. I have 4 alloy registered with the Aluminum Association.
Oh, and are those 6000 series
Yeah,
alloys?
3 of them were 6000, and one was a foundry alloy.
And why did
one
you
of- one
come
of
up
the
with them?
I mean, pretty much the customer were asking all the time, how can I improve productivity? So trying to develop an alloy that can extrude faster and still give you the same mechanical properties as 6063, the conventional alloy.
Yes.
So that's how I came up with a 6560 alloy that is pretty much now used in quite a few plants.
Yes, I had no idea that you were the originator of that
Yeah.
alloy.
Yeah, it's nice to see it produced in Middle East, in the US, and all around the world, and used by a lot of extruders.
And seeing your casting equipment, casting
Yeah,
it.
casting
Yes.
it. Yeah. So,
But most extruders don't cast their own ingot.
no, I mean quite a few are, but not the majority. But I see more and more requests about billet casting. I
Uh,
think there is a shift in the market now where the number of producers is shrinking, and there is concern about billet supply, and they are interested in controlling it. So anytime you have an extrusion company with I would say 3, 4, 5 presses, they are to a point where they can justify to put a cast house
I see.
and make their own billet.
what would be the difference between casting primary versus secondary ingot?
Oh, that's the big topic of discussion these days. What is the definition of primary and secondary billet? Ah, 20 years ago, secondary billet had very bad reputation because the quality of the metal was very poor. But today, with all the metal treatment equipment and process control, you can produce, and I don't like to call it secondary, I would call it a recycled billet
Okay.
with a metal quality as good or better than a primary billet. So I was saying that the difference is gone unless you have some very specific application where you are making some anodized part with white finish where you need high purity. But that still can be achieved in a recycle plant. You put just more pit and 20 metal, primary metal, pure metal in the furnace, and you can achieve it. It's just not as economical.
So it's not any different to cast those two things.
No, it's the same
It's
piece
all
of
happening in the
equipment.
furnace basically
Yeah, it's the
before.
same equipment, casting primary or recycled billet. The only difference is what you do in the furnace and in degassing and filtration, metal treatment. And you can really, I have done some head-to-head tests of recycle versus primary, and recycle was better if you do it right.
So how would you say, what's the percentage for the equipment that you're installing that they are castings recycled versus primary?
Oh. I mean, in my territory, I mean, in the US and Canada, I will say that I will have maybe 75% recycled versus 25 primary. I mean, we know that the number of smelter in the U.S. is shrinking, and they are not very profitable, so they are not installing new casting pits or modernizing. So I mean, around the world, like in Middle East or in the Far East, where they are installing new smelters and its primary application,
Well,
but they are not too much yet into the recycling. But I'm sure they are going to get there.
I was speaking to someone recently about how the U.S. does have a lot of old equipment and maybe how important it is to get new equipment because when it becomes so old, it's going to cause problems in the industry because
Yeah.
everyone will not be able to produce. So how how can you convince someone that it's time to get new equipment? Like how old does the equipment have to be before they shouldn't
Oh,
keep using it?
in the casting industry, it's all this long time.
Okay, so
For instance, if you talk about a casting cylinder, I mean, the life of a casting cylinder is 25 to 40 years. And, we have casting cylinders that are 25, 30 years old, never been taken out of the casting pit, and are in perfect condition.
wow.
So if you maintain it, if you do preventive maintenance and do what's necessary, equipment can last a long time. The only difference is that some of the older equipment doesn't have the automation capability. So you are back to
To having
consistency, human involvement,
right?
and then also you have some technology, casting technology that is no longer supported. I mean, there is some technology we Wagstaff does no longer support because we cannot even find replacement parts. It's not available. It's so old, and so people need to think about moving to some newer technology that, like I mentioned earlier, you minimize the amount of scrap that you generate in downstream by better surface quality and also variation, better grain structure inside the billet, and so forth. And their customers are pushing for this type of billet or rolling ingot. So they are forcing the producer to upgrade their technology. They said, I can go to brand X and they get a billet where I can reduce my scrap by 1 or 2%. So you need to do something. So they are kind of forced.
Epsilon is the rolling ingot. Is that correct?
Epsilon and LHC are for rolling ingot, Air Slip and Max are for billet.
So, how is the sales of casting for rolling ingot going? Is there an increase that you're seeing because of the increased use of aluminum in the automotive industry?
Yes, it's been in the last 2 years and it's
2
still
years.
continuing. We see a big business in upgrading casting equipment to newer technology to support the automotive ABS programs.
And
So all the big companies are upgrading their tooling
within the U.S.
within the US. I just heard this morning that Far East is starting to do the same.
So
That was the first time I heard that automotive products were going to be produced in
and
Far
which
East,
country?
China.
So, do you do much business in? Does Wagstaff do much business for China?
We do some business in China. Yeah, used to be a larger percentage of our business, but has slowed down quite a bit. I think they have reached maturity now. It's all the casting pit there.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's slowing down, but still some activity, of course. But the U.S. and North America is now number one.
Number one. That's
Again.
so good to hear.
Yeah.
Um, before you go, could you tell us about a recent installation that might be of interest for various reasons?
I mean, we have one now that being installed in North America, a billet plant, a large billet plant, and that's going to be our first plant with fully automated billet casting. So we're quite excited. We are introducing
Wow.
a new piece of equipment there that is going to automatically detect if you have what we call a bleed out, if some metal seep out of the mold and doesn't get solidified properly. And it will automatically plug the mold position where that problem happened. So
Wow.
before people had to go with manually with a cone and plug it manually, working on molten aluminum. Now that's going to be automatic. So that's quite
That
a big step for us in
that sounds like
completely hands-free billet casting. I mean, currently we have also video system camera under the casting table in a pit, everywhere above, that is connected to our automation system. And anytime you have an alarm, camera is zooming where the problem is. Like that, the operator in a control room can make a decision. Do I keep casting or do I stop a cast? They don't even need to go do something. They can see it right from the control room. They have a big 60-inch TV watching what's happening in the casting. It's amazing also to see metal being cast from under the casting table.
Yeah.
So you see the billet coming out, rolling ingot, and it's amazing the quality of the picture that you can achieve now. I mean, it's like you are there. You will think with the water, the steam, all that, but you can see it very clearly what's going on.
otherwise, I don't think you ever do see that view.
I mean, people are on their knee with flashlight and looking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's what I've been used.
So
in
is
the
it
plant
for
where I
one
was.
casting pit to begin
Well,
with, and will
one
it be
one
for
big. No, I mean it's a very large casting pit. It's not like most of the plant in the US have usually one or two casting pits.
Mhm.
In billets, typically is one,
Yes.
unless you're in a smelter. But I mean, you can produce a lot of metal, like a million pounds a day on one casting pit.
Yeah. Well, I hope that when you finish that installation, you might allow us to see that plant so that we could do
Yeah,
that story
yeah,
on the
I'm sure
first
they
fully
will. They are
automated
willing to show it
billet
to
casting
people,
plant.
and I'm sure there will be some publication about it. So
Oh, okay, Olivier, it's been very nice talking with you today, and I
thank you.
thank you for your
Thank you very
time.
much, Anna.